A very good morning to all of you. Welcome back to Ansarkari. So we'll be discussing important topics from 23rd of April. So since yesterday also we took up this topic in detail about the Earth's health in the context of that, on 22nd of April we celebrate the Earth Day. So restoring Earth's right to good health. Here firstly we'll go through certain facts also which are important from the perspective of PT. So this article says that what all areas are there which requires attention, and what are some measures that we've been taking also, and what else is required. So the fact includes that article 14 जो हम fundamental rights की बात करते हैं, under article 14 and 21, that gets adversely affected because of the climate change, because recently we saw that Supreme Court जो judgment आई थी, they said कि people have the right to be free from the adverse impacts of the climate change. So because it violates your fundamental right under Article 14 and 21, so this has been upheld. And then we also talk about the MC Mehta case also in this context, which was earlier highlighted. Then another important fact is the Global Climate Report. It is published by the World Meteorological Organization, Global Climate Report by WMO. So even they, in their recent report for 2023, they have also stated that records were also broken for ocean heat, whether it is like the ocean acidification or rising temperature of the oceans, sea level rise, Antarctic sea ice loss, or the glacier retreat. So these are we are seeing the impacts of climate change. Now, when we're talking about what measures that have been taken by India, so that includes the nationally determined contributions. So under this, we are having targets like reducing the emissions intensity of GDP by 33% to 35% from 2005 level. So these are the important facts which can be noted down. Second is achieving 40% of the cumulative electric power installed capacity from the non-fossil fuel sources. And then we also talk about the Panchamrit targets. Then we are also having the SDG goals also. So these are when we're talking about the certain the steps that have been taken up. Apart from this, when we're talking about the policy driven approach, so here we can compare two approaches. One is the policy driven approach. We are having different national action plans, the action plan for cooling, then we have national and the state action plans on the climate change is there. We're having different bodies when we talk about NGT, CPCB. So this forms a part of the policy driven approach. But again, because climate change is a global phenomena, the steps, it is obviously not restricted to one geographical boundary or territorial area of a country. So it requires collective efforts if we want to really see the results. And then when we're talking about, so it's suggesting three solutions which should be taken up broadly speaking. So one is yesterday, like the important areas that we covered was, for example, we talked about the multi-layered approach of agriculture, the model that emerged in Chhattisgarh. Then we're talking about how we can indigenize the food chain, the food web which is there. So first approach is the India's localization model. So how we can leverage that, and that can also help in achieving the SDG goals also. So one is taking the leverage of the Indian knowledge system, or the indigenous knowledge, or the even the indigenous varieties of different seeds for different crops that we have. So one is that. Second, it is talking about the circular economy approach, where we need to engage the human rights compliant supply chains, including the reverse logistics. So again, second, circular economy, when talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. So that is an example of circular economy. Then in terms of reducing the garbage also, the waste also, that is also important. We talk about 1, 2, 3 pledge. So that is the example of policy driven approach. Third, it is talking about there should be rights-based approach. And in this, the recent Supreme Court judgment वो यहाँ पे fit होती है rights-based approach में, and MC Mehta case as well. So rights-based approach से अगर हम देखेंगे different चीजों को कि जिस तरीके से like जो हमारा actual behavior है, that can be shaped, or it can be transformed given how the climate change is actually happening. So be it like in the context of environment, right to clean environment, healthy environment, we talk about hygiene, or right to access to potable water, or when talking about, recharging the water table, conserving the biodiversity. So in all these aspects, rights-based approach can help us. And here then different projects are also mentioned, like balancing the conservation. So broadly speaking, we can also talk about growth versus development in this context. So that debate also fits in here. And we can also compare this with, as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also, he talked about the rights-based approach when we talk about the upliftment of the depressed classes. So he was he was also putting forward the same thing, ki rights-based approach, that element should also be there in order to truly achieve Swaraj or to truly achieve independence. So here also the rights-based approach is being propounded. This fact has been covered. 22nd of April celebrated as the International Mother Earth Day. And definitely we know that we treat Earth as a mother, and this is a significant component of India's culture or tradition, or the practices that we have, the religious practices. So regarding nature as a living entity rather than just a resource. And in this context also, we have different Supreme Court judgments that the issue was taken up whether you should treat the different rivers like Ganga, Yamuna as living entity or not. And then accordingly, the actions or the projects or the whether we're talking about environment impact assessments, how that thing would be again reshaping. So this is important. So these are the three solutions that we've talked about. Apart from this, there is one thing fact यहाँ पे Mother Earth Day 2024. I think the theme is humanity is acting like Mother Earth's. Okay, ठीक है. Theme mention नहीं है यहाँ पे. You can look for the theme if there's any specific theme. तो ये सारी important areas थे. Now talking about the disability rights, यहाँ पे जो debate है, it is saying कि आर्टिकल 15 में इट इज डिमांडिंग अमेंडमेंट्स कि जो ग्राउंड्स हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ व्हिच डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कैन नॉट हैपन, उसमें एक ग्राउंड होना चाहिए डिसेबिलिटी आल्सो. तो करेंटली व्हाट डज आर्टिकल 15 सेज एज अ पार्ट ऑफ द फंडामेंटल राइट? इट सेज कि इट प्रोहिबिट्स डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ऑन द ग्राउंड्स ऑफ रिलीजन, रेस, कास्ट, सेक्स, प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ. सो यहाँ पे एक जो और फैक्टर आना चाहिए वो डिसेबिलिटी भी होना चाहिए कि डिसेबिलिटी के बेसिस पे भी देयर शुडंट बी एनी काइंड ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन व्हिच शुड हैपन. Then second, जो एक fact है which says कि the United Nations Convention the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, India became a signatory and we ratified this in 2006. So this is an important fact. We okay ratified this in 2007 finally. We can say कि we are having the Rights of Persons and Disabilities Act 2016, but Article 15 में जो amendment demand किया जा रहा है ये अभी as such कुछ नहीं हुआ है. So ये demand कब emerge हुई? When we saw कि नवतेज सिंह जौहर जो केस था सुप्रीम कोर्ट का वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया 2018. सो वहां पे इट एक्सटेंडेड द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ आर्टिकल 15 ऑन ग्राउंड ऑफ सेक्सुअल ओरिएंटेशन, जो टॉकिंग अबाउट द थर्ड जेंडर. सो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बोला गया कि अगर ये इस सेंस में हो सकता है तो इट कैन बी ऑल्सो ये जो एक फैक्टर है अबाउट द डिसेबिलिटी ये भी ऐड होना चाहिए इन आर्टिकल 15. तो यहाँ पे यही डिमांड किया जा रहा है कि जो पॉलिटिकल विल है या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट्स रिक्वायर्ड है इन ऑर्डर टू अचीव द ब्रॉडर गोल ऑफ इंक्लूसिव सोसाइटी एंड इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट. सो this is also an important, we can say, prerequisite to achieve that target. So the process of constitutional litigation, and it ignores the systematic marginalization faced by the people with disabilities. So इस context में हमने recently ये भी बात करी थी कि whether it is about employment or it is about like the cinema halls, so the access to public infrastructure, so those changes are also important. And then we are also seeing the National Center for the Promotion of Employment for the Disabled People, which is there, and the National Disability Network. So this was launched, and they also released a kind of a manifesto there. So it urged the political parties to prioritize this thing. And यहाँ पे भी we can refer to this thing कि political parties जो I just mentioned कि willingness, political willingness भी significant है to take this up issue. Instead of we are seeing कि like hate speech को अगर आप promote कर रहे हो in your the political rallies, so जो legitimate objective major issues हैं that should be prioritized even by the political parties. So Taiwan में there were two major earthquakes that we saw. तो उसमें से क्या lessons रहे? एक 1999 में होता है and recently that we saw one. तो Taiwan earthquake से what are the lessons that India can learn and we can implement those in case of India also, because again we are also, we can say, in the high seismic zone, specifically northern India की अगर हम बात करते हैं. So फर्स्टली यहाँ पे बात हो रही है प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स थ्योरी की द मेजर रीजन जो अर्थक्वेक्स के पीछे होते हैं, एंड दैट टू वी आर सीइंग कि देयर इज हायर नंबर ऑफ अर्थक्वेक्स व्हिच आर रजिस्टर्ड इन केस ऑफ द कन्वर्जेंट प्लेट बाउंड्रीज. सो ताइवान, इट लाइज ऑन which two plates, or at the boundary of which two plates? So one is the Eurasian plate, and one is the another one is the Philippine Sea plate. So उसकी बाउंड्री पे ताइवान लोकेटेड है, तो and these are converging in nature. So it is moving at the velocity of about 7.8 centimeter per year. And this is faster than the motion of the Indian plate. So it is not कि जो plate, different plate boundaries है, जो different plates, tectonic plates है, they are stagnant and they're not moving. Each of the plate is moving. जो ज़्यादा speed से move कर रही है, वहाँ पे there would be high number of earthquakes. So एक ये important fact है. अगर हम फैक्ट्स देखें, सो यहाँ पे हम अगर देखें कि 1999 के बाद जो अर्थक्वेक हुआ ताइवान में, उसके बाद ताइवान, इट वाज काइंड ऑफ एन वेकअप कॉल फॉर देयर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम, एंड कुछ रिफॉर्म्स किए गए. सो उसमें से क्या क्या स्टेप्स लिए गए? वन वाज we saw कि disaster prevention and protection act आया. Secondly, there was like 2 national centers to handle the earthquake coordination and training system, वो establish किया गया. Building codes में reforms किए गए so that it can be more resilient to the disasters, to the earthquakes. And we can say fourth is advanced earthquake monitoring network and early warning systems. इस area में काम हुआ. Fifth is there was awareness campaigns and drills which were run on larger scale. There were much more, we can say, frequent number of drills which were conducted for the earthquake safety. And this has overall improved the public's understanding also of the earthquake risk. Whenever there's an earthquake, what you should do. You should not react, you should act as per the learnings from the drills which were conducted. So similarly, and एक यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल भी है कि तेपी 101A की बिल्डिंग है. सो रिसेंट अर्थक्वेक में इट एस्केप्ड एनी काइंड ऑफ डैमेज बिकॉज देयर इज दिस टेक्नोलॉजी सिस्मिक डैम्पर्स. सो ये एक तरीके से लाइक ऑसिलेट करते हैं इन द ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन to the direction in which the building is moving, so as to again balance it and destruction least होना चाहिए. So India in area से learn कर सकते हैं, and we can also have a proper seismic codes कि क्या कोड्स फॉलो किए जाने चाहिए जब हम कंस्ट्रक्शन की बात करते हैं, बिल्डिंग डिजाइन्स की बात करते हैं, या जब हम बात करते हैं इवन लोकेटिंग कौन से एरियाज हाई रिस्क जोन पे है, कितना डिस्ट्रक्शन हो सकता है. यहाँ पे वी कैन हैव अ काइंड ऑफ अ फोरकास्ट कि फ्यूचर में इस रीजन में कितने मैग्नीट्यूड तक का earthquake हो सकता है, एंड वी कैन अकॉर्डिंगली प्रिपेयर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. सो ये ताइवान ने भी किया. So this can be implemented in India. Then again, engineering sector में reforms जो भी construction से related है, what kind of material is going to be much more safer, these changes can be done. And then enforcement और जो implementation की बात की जाती है कि it should be effectively implemented, there shouldn't be any kind of delays, non-compliance shouldn't be there. And right now जो Indian code है, जो standard हम follow करते हैं, that is the IS 1893. So this is specifying the seismic designs based on the seismic zonation maps, so that buildings they do not collapse, but more needs to be done. So hate speech के बारे में हम आगे और डिटेल में बात करेंगे. If we have any important fact from here we can use. ठीक है, नहीं, ये hate speech के बारे में we'll take this up later. So talking about Gukesh, so he is, we can say, one of the youngest player to achieve this position. So being calm and composed did the trick for him. So being calm and composed is one of the, we can say, one of the most difficult thing to achieve, but the only solution to handle the stress kind of situation, the pressure kind of situation. And it was witnessed कि जो ज़्यादा experienced player था, he couldn't cope with the things in a much better manner as Gukesh he was able to do. So he was calmer of the two persons, and that is why you can say he won and has achieved that thing. And iske alawa, when we talk about different chess players, so Pragananda, definitely he is one of them. So how you are handling the pressure? So self-training and mental strength plays an important role, be it like chess or any other field in your life. And definitely family support too played an important role in his success and achievement. So he becomes the second youngest grandmaster in history at the time at the age of 12 years, 7 months and 17 days. 2019 mein this was there. So right now he's 17. Okay, so could science ke questions. So mycostrol that performs similar functions as cholesterol. So that is ergostrol. Then class of drugs used to lower the blood cholesterol levels, statins. So cholesterol levels ko kam karne ke liye statins are used. The body turns cholesterol into calcitrol under the influence of this. So that is UV light, which is again harmful for the body, and location in the body where cholesterol is reabsorbed into the bloodstream, that is small intestine. And apart from this, the main function is reabsorption of the food, that is done in small intestine itself. And cholesterols cannot breach this barrier into the brain. So that is the blood brain barrier cannot be breached by cholesterol. Landfill fire result of the government negligence. So that we can say that is one of the factors behind the issues related to the landfill sites. So this in this picture you can see the Ghazipur landfill site. So when we're talking about the harmful impacts related to this, so it leads to like different types of pollution, be the soil pollution or the pollution related to groundwater, air pollution because of the toxic gases which are released from it, as you can see in the picture as well. And there's kind of a like in can say a simmering fire which is always going on at these landfill sites. And definitely these regions are not safe even for human habitations and even from the perspective of wildlife or the birds which are there. So what are the solutions that we can say? Or firstly, we can talk about the challenges here. So firstly, we can say ki this is the primary function or responsibility of the local bodies. We're talking about MCD, but there they are facing the challenge of finances, inadequate finances, and they're not like discharged or they are not made available on timely basis to them. So that is their second, as it is mentioning, the political will, lack of political will is being witnessed. And when we're talking about the segregation of waste, so the behavioral change at the household level, that is the first step. Even that is not followed by everyone, that is not taken up seriously by the people. And now, when we're talking about the solutions, so what can be the solutions? So solution here, as in case of Delhi, we are seeing recently 2 engineered landfill sites, they are being constructed. So that can be one of the solutions. Second, we can say is the waste to energy plants, where the waste, it can be reused to generate energy, and then making the funds available so as to ensure that there is smooth functioning of the administration and the executives, and there is timely implementation. And plastic waste management rule की हम बात कर चुके हैं in detail. So all-round efforts should be made to control the fire, to prevent further deterioration of air quality, to safeguard the people's health. The discovery of new drugs. So there are several tools which are helping the scientists to increase the rate at which they are discovering new drugs. So India is one of the largest leading manufacturers as well as consumers of antimicrobial drugs. Now, when we're talking about this vision of being the world's largest manufacturer of the drugs or being the pharma capital, that is there, but there are then inherent challenges also in that. So one of them is definitely antimicrobial resistance, which we are seeing. Then we're talking about the control of the standards of the drugs, as we saw in the case of the toxicity, which was it was said that that was a major reason behind the death of children, that the cough syrup that was exported to different African countries. So standard regulation, the drugs is important. Thirdly, the pricing of the drugs is important so as to again ensure that there is no monopoly. And yesterday we covered that the pharma sector, it is covered under patents. Earlier in its original form of the act, the Patents Act of 1970, pharma was not a part of it. So I think it was added close to 2005 or 2006 में pharma sector was added in the Patents Act. And with this we can also say कि जो number है जो non-communicable diseases at that number is also increasing. So specifically जैसे when we're talking about not the non-communicable disease, जैसे TB की बात करें, it is not a non-communicable disease. So उस case में भी antimicrobial resistance की वजह से the disease burden is increasing. So that has also become the one of the challenges. So यहाँ पे it is talking about how does drug discovery begins. So institutional level पे two important stakeholders is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research CSIR and Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology Hyderabad. So they have identified potential targets for the new anti-malarial drugs. Basic biology उन्होंने study करी of these one of this bacteria and the malarial parasite Plasmodium falciparum. So बैक्टीरिया के सर्वाइवल के लिए इक्वली दैट इज एसेंशियल. उसके बाद सेल ग्रो होते हैं एंड देन इट ब्रेक्स द पेप्टिडोग्लाइकन मटेरियल व्हिच इज एडेड टू एनलार्ज द मेश. तो इतना इसके डिटेल में हमें जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. So overall we are seeing investments in the pharma sector when we're talking about the creation and the building up of the bulk drug parks. अगर larger level पे हम बात करते हैं कि what steps are being taken, AI can definitely help in increasing the efficiency and reducing the time of the discovery of the new drugs. तो precision medicine की हम बात कर सकते हैं. And adhering to the code of conduct, the ethical conducts, that is also significant because if we are having technology, it can be misused at the same time. And then standards की बात करते हैं तो Central Drug Standard Control Organization, and for pricing we have National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. So here we are seeing Malaysia is set to build a massive semiconductor design park. So ये कैसे इंडिया को हेल्प कर सकता है? So since we are seeing कि after COVID-19 one of the important lessons was the importance of the smooth functioning of the supply chains, and for that in each respective area, for example here we are talking the context of semiconductor, so diverse availability of different partners or advanced players plays an important role so as to ensure the smooth functioning of supply chain, so that if there is no monopoly, for example अगर हम चाइना की बात करते हैं तो there was this always this risk which India talked about कि we are importing 80% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients from China, or when we're talking about the import of even crude oil, so OPEC, the limited players or countries from which we are importing. So diversity, and because of this Malaysia, it is also, you know, having certain developments, it is doing investments in this regard in this sector. So this can help in this sense कि it will diversify the availability of the number of semiconductor players, because right now we are seeing again Taiwan is on the top and followed by China. So 3D printing of the metal parts. So इसका benefit क्या होगा? Benefit होगा, it would help in reducing the overall cost of manufacturing, overall cost of production, and जो Make in India program है इसको और ज़्यादा amplify और ज़्यादा multiplier effects जो हो सकते हैं वो increase हो सकते हैं. This can also help in boosting the exports. And definitely जो higher skills हैं वहाँ पे we can create more employment with the implementation of this technology at this much larger scale. So in this context, again, this is kind of a joint venture between HP Inc. and with the Indo MIM. So they'll be manufacturing different components in case of which will be used as inputs or components, raw materials for automobiles, aerospace, defense, consumer electronics, and likewise. And which are the locations at which these facilities would be located? These are mentioned like Doda Balapur, Hoskote, and Tirupati in Chennai. So these are it is the world's largest 3D printer of metal parts. So this 3D printing helps in more precision, we can say. It takes less time, it can be more resilient also. जो हम बात करते हैं like the challenge of heat which is generated because of, again, the friction or the longer usage of different components. So might be possible the nature of component that is being used to manufacture these components using this technology of 3D printing, that can also be, might be possible. We have an advantage in this sector also. And the name of the printer is Metaljet S100 printers. These would be used for this. Okay, here we are seeing that the spiritual predecessor of Mahavira, Parshavnath, the birth and death place of Mahavira is Bihar. Dynasty to which he belonged, Ishkwak dynasty. The age at which Mahavira is said to have achieved the Keval Jnan, 43 years. The common link between the Indrabhuti, Gautama, Vayubhuti, Aryavyak, and all of these, that is that they are 5 of the first 11 disciples called Gandharas. Nobel laureate said this of Mahavira. Mahavira proclaimed in India that religion is a reality and not a mere social convention. Rabindranath Tagore said this thing. Universal symbol of Jainism क्या है? Jain Pratik Chinna. Okay. Now, Supreme Court says that denying women child care leaves is violation of the Constitution. So when we're talking about increasing the share of the women labor force participation rate increase करने की हम बात करते हैं, right now it is at 33%. So जो inherent चीजें, जो inherent aspects हैं related to the women labor force, that is naturally a part of their fundamental rights. For example, when we're talking about the Article 15 of the Constitution, so that these are, we can say, एक तरीके से जो derived rights हैं उनका component है. So it is an important constitutional objective of ensuring that women, they're not deprived of their due participation as members of the workforce. So whether it is like leaves related to the maternity leaves की हम बात करें, या फिर जो monthly leaves होती हैं periodic cycle से related, उससे related बात करें, तो these are inherent components. So फेमिनिज्म की हम बात करते हैं तो फेमिनिज्म ऑलवेज टॉक्स अबाउट द जेंडर इक्वालिटी, और जब हम बात करते हैं इक्वल पे फॉर इक्वल वर्क, सो ये उसका भी इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट हम बोल सकते हैं. एंड इक्वली द पॉलिसीज ऑफ द स्टेट मस्ट बी सिंक्रोनस विद द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल सेफगार्ड्स. सो ये कोई स्पेशल प्रोविजंस उनके लिए नहीं है फॉर द वुमेन. It is important to boost their participation. It is natural part which is again related to the female labor force. Now when we're talking about hate speech, तो recently कुछ ऐसे incidents हैं जो highlight किए गए कि Prime Minister he mentioned certain things. तो कुछ ऐसे phrases है, जैसे हम बात करते हैं घुसपैठिया is term used for the Muslim minorities, and like urban Naxal की सोच, ऐसे phrases use किए जाते हैं in the political rallies. So when we're talking about hate speech, तो hate speech firstly not mentioned in the constitution, it is not defined in the constitution. But जब हम fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression की बात करते हैं, तो उसमें कुछ reasonable restrictions हैं that we can say. For example, if you violate the sovereignty, the integrity of India, then maintaining friend relations with the neighboring countries, and likewise, so these exist. And इसके अलावा when we are saying कि hate speech, अगर हम generally बोले कि how can we define it, so this is उस hate speech के पीछे purpose देखा जाता है. What is the purpose of the speech, the words that are being used? So if that is to incite any kind of violence or enmity between different groups of community, then we can say that it is an hate speech. So hate speech, it definitely, it is mentioned in RPA 1951. It punishes, it calls for punishing for the such incidents related to hate speech. Even IPC talks about it. And then there is Civil Liberties Protection Act, Civil Rights Protection Act, which is there. It is also talking about the protection of this. And then we're talking about the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. Even there, hate speech is mentioned. So these are respective areas. And when we're talking about the powers of Election Commission of India, in the sense of what are the powers that it is having to deal with the cases of hate speech, so it is not having as such any discrete power. But when we're talking about what are the electoral reforms that we talk about, so one of them is the legal enforceability of the Model Code of Conduct. So when MCC comes into force, then should Election Commission of India, it is having sufficient enough powers to deal with such types of cases. So we can say it is having just nominal powers in this context. So here, this article is talking about the amendments. Recently, we took this topic, India-Mauritius Treaty, to aim to plug the tax loopholes. So we'll just quickly cover up the keywords. One is the base erosion, profit shifting. So दो areas होते हैं, tax evasion and tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is legal. आप कैसे loopholes को use करके tax avoidance, मतलब आप अपना जो tax है अब उसको minimum से minimum रखना चाहते हो, तो that is legal. Loopholes को आप misuse करते हो एक तरीके से. So that is why it is legal and it is permitted. ऐसा नहीं है कि लिखा हुआ है कहीं पे, but it makes sense. Then tax evasion is illegal. कि आप इवेड कर रहे हो, तो दैट इज वन थिंग. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस यहाँ पे कीवर्ड है प्रिंसिपल पर्पस टेस्ट. तो डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट की चाहे हम बात करें, तो उसका ये इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है कि प्रिंसिपल पर्पस टेस्ट, इसकी पर्पस क्या है, आपका जो एक्शन है कि आप स्पेसिफिकली टैक्स इवेड करना चाहते हो या अवॉइड करना चाहते हो. अगर आप स्पेसिफिकली टैक्स बेनिफिट के लिए ऐसा कोई मेजर लेते हो, देन जो भी बेनिफिट्स मेंशन होंगे अंडर द डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट, इस प्रिंसिपल पर्पस टेस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग वो आपको नहीं मिलेंगे. So this is the main thing for which this test would be used. And when we're talking about the importance of Mauritius for India, so the FDI inflows, we saw 16% of FDI inflows in 2021-22, they came from Mauritius. So that is why the plugging of these loopholes becomes important, so as to ensure कि future में it keeps on increasing. एंड गार की हम बात करते हैं, GAAR, जनरल एंटी अवॉइडेंस रेगुलेशन या रिजीम. तो एंटी अवॉइडेंस से इस चीज की बात करता है, एंटी अवॉइडेंस इज टैक्स अवॉइडेंस. तो उसको कैसे डील करने के लिए हम क्या स्टेप्स लेने चाहिए, तो दोज प्रोविजंस आर मेंशन्ड अंडर गार. So irrespective areas. कॉस्ट ऑफ हेल्थ, तो इंडिया में वी आर सीइंग कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर पार्टिसिपेशन या जो शेयर है वो ज्यादा है. वी कवर्ड दिस थिंग बिफोर ऑल्सो कि 70% ऑफ द हेल्थ केयर इन इंडिया इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय द प्राइवेट सेक्टर. So capping of the cost, or when talking about dealing with this challenge of high out of pocket expenditure, the role of government, the role of public sector becomes important. So Clinical Establishment Act 2010. So it seeks to bring a semblance of order by registering all health establishments, setting उनके minimum standards क्या उनको follow करना important है, rationalizing the cost by setting the एक price range, उसी में price vary कर सकते हैं. So that again, when we're talking about the goal of universal health care, that is important. Apart from this, when talking about insurance penetration and increasing insurance density, so कल भी हमने IRDAI के role के बारे में बात करी. There Vision 2047, which is insurance for all. So that is also important component of this universal health immunization. And one more reform that we talk about is increasing the share of GDP for the healthcare sector. The current target is 2.5% तक वो increase होनी चाहिए. देन इंडिया में कोई एक सिंगल रेगुलेटर नहीं है व्हेन वी टॉकिंग अबाउट दी हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर. लाइक डिफरेंट रेगुलेटर्स आर देयर. जैसे हम CDSCO की बात करते हैं तो फार्मा सेक्टर से रिलेटेड है. देन मेडिकल काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया की हम बात करते हैं, बट ओवरऑल देयर इज नो सिंगल रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी, सो दैट शुड बी एस्टैब्लिश्ड. एंड ऑल्सो इट इज सीन कि इंडिया में the healthcare, it does not follow the market rules. So there are certain unpredictable elements. There is distress. It relies on empathy. So there should be a proper like code of conduct, again, a uniform standard which should be followed. There should be proper accountability of the healthcare, like the experts की अगर हम doctors की बात करते हैं, institutions की बात करते हैं, so that should be fixed. So even healthcare is seen because private sector domination है, तो private sector participation main purpose उनका हमेशा रहता है profit driven. So this shouldn't be the main motive, we can say, in the healthcare sector, specifically on the part of the private sector. Climate's new normal, each generation's understanding. So intergenerational इनइक्विटी एक एलिमेंट हम बोल सकते हैं कि this would be widening because of climate change, be it the burden of related to taxation or the impact of the climate change or the availability of the natural resources that would be depleting in future. So that is the intergenerational inequity that we can say. बाकी यहाँ पे we are talking about the different instances and the impacts. Examples are mentioned over here. एंड पहला आर्टिकल में जो हमने 3 अप्रोचेस की बात करी, दैट इज द सॉल्यूशन. Overall, 70% workers globally exposed to excessive heat. India's manual labor at also risk. So जो हमारे 4 लेबर कोड्स आए, क्या ये उसका एक कंपोनेंट है जब हम बात करते हैं कि क्लाइमेट चेंज से डील करने के लिए या जो इम्पैक्ट है, आर दे अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ द 4 लेबर कोड्स और नॉट? तो चाहे लाइक ensuring availability of drinking water हो, rescheduling of the work hours हो, या there's safe working conditions हो, scorching heat में they cannot work safely. So ये important elements है which should be a part of that. And ILO की हम बात करते हैं, International Labour Organization. So we can look for different conventions. Whether क्या इसमें भी कोई ऐसा convention which is talking about the impact of climate change and the labor health and safety. So the labor deaths is increasing globally. Lower and middle income countries, you can see 53% is the share. And by weather events, if we see, so the maximum is because of these storms and then droughts. So deaths from the other occupational hazards are higher. So जब हम इसकी बात करते हैं, तो definitely this is a part of the fundamental rights under Article 23 and 24. So pesticide poisoning ho, workplace air pollution ho, solar UV radiations, parasitic and vector-borne diseases. These are some threats to the safety of labor force. Health insurance for all ages. अब जैसे मैंने मेंशन किया, इंश्योरेंस रेगुलेटरी डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया, इट इज स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी. 2047 विजन इज इंश्योरेंस फॉर ऑल, वाइडन्स द इंश्योरेंस नेट. सो मोर प्लेयर्स होंगे तो इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम्स उतनी कम होगी बिकॉज देयर वुड बी मोर कंपटीशन इन द मार्केट. एंड हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में जो इंडिया का रेट है, that is close to 3.4% growth rate जो देखा गया, and this is we can say global average से भी higher level पे है, and जो emerging जो developed countries हैं उनके average से भी higher level. तो health insurance में India is doing well. So when we're talking about the issues, so insurers may not be enthusiastic about catering to the 65 plus age bracket. So ये जो limitations थी, this has also been removed कि 65 plus वाला जो पहले restriction impose किया गया था. सो यहाँ पे जो मॉरल हजार्ड है वो एग्जिस्ट करता है. टिपिकली आई टॉक इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स कि पॉसिबिलिटी है कि आप पहले डिस्क्लोज ना करो कि आपकी हेल्थ के कंडीशंस क्या है व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर द हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस. सो दैट इज द मॉरल हजार्ड दैट एग्जिस्ट इन द इंश्योरेंस मार्केट, या जो हम मार्केट फॉर लेमन्स की भी बात करते हैं. सो वो एक तरीके से इंक्रीजेस द कॉस्ट फॉर द इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज. So survey was held to devise new footwear sizing systems for Indians. So the name is BHA भार टू रिप्रेजेंट भारत. तो यहाँ पे भी भारत स्टैंडर्ड्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं. इट विल रिप्लेस द एग्जिस्टिंग यूके जो यूरोपियन या यूएस साइजिंग सिस्टम्स हम फॉलो करते हैं. एंड दिस वुड बी इंक्लूसिव ऑफ वेरियस एथनिसिटीज ऑल्सो. जो जी साइजेस होंगे, जो स्टैंडर्ड्स होंगे, ग्रोथ ऑफ द फुट साइज क्या है ऑफ द एवरेज इंडियन फीमेल, या हम मेल्स की बात करते हैं. तो जो इंडिजिनियस फैक्टर्स हैं, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली हम इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो वो कुछ चैलेंजेस हैं जो हम अपने इंडिजिनस सिस्टम से ओवरकम कर सकते हैं. तो लाइक वेदर इट इज अबाउट जो शू मैन्युफैक्चर किए जाते हैं इंटरनेशनली या इंडिया में जो किए जा रहे हैं, क्या इट इज अ डेयरिंग टू कि इंडिया में जो क्लाइमेट है या जो शू बाइट्स इंसिडेंट्स है, जो फुट हेल्थ है इंडिया की, क्या वो उन फैक्टर्स को कंसिडर करके मैन्युफैक्चर किए जा रहे हैं इंडिया में या नहीं. सो वो चीज अभी सामने आई. 8 footwear sizes have been proposed, so these are the facts.